All right, good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. It is July the 6th. Right now, looking at the indices, it looks like we may get a fairly quiet opening on the Dow unless some major news comes out here in the next 30 minutes. Right now, it looks like we're going to get a quiet, maybe slightly higher opening on the Dow. I don't have any initial trades right now. Possible short on the crude coming up here. Let's watch this crude. Okay, let's get this. We're going to go ahead and take this crude short, and then we'll briefly go through what we're going to be looking at this morning. So on the crude oil, I'm getting a short here. This is going to be an HF, what we call an HF1 short. All right, so we have a target on this crude. Our profit target is going to be a 99.15. That will be our exit or our profit target. And then if we need the reverse, if we don't hit target and we hit our reversal point, we'll reverse, go long, get a new target on the upside. And that reversal is going to come in at 165. Crude could get choppy this morning. I'd be really careful trading crude. We are getting a short now on natural gas as well. All right, our short on our natural gas is going to bring us down to 55.45. 55.45. That is going to be our profit target. If we need to reverse on the gas, we're going to reverse up here at 56.95. Be careful on these indices. I'm sorry. Be careful on these crude oil and natural gas this morning. It could be choppy. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we're going to be trading this morning and how we're going to be trading. If you're joining us on YouTube and Facebook, thanks for joining us. Once again, everything that you're seeing today is for demonstrational purposes only. We do not suggest that you make any of these trades. There's more to our trade selection, just taking these buys and these shorts. But the idea is to demonstrate the effectiveness of my proprietary techniques. It is different. This is not something you're going to find publicly available. It's not in a book. It's not going to be on a YouTube video. I developed these over 30 years ago. All right, so, and I just finally disclosed them a couple years back. So let's take a look at the indices. First of all, on the top right hand corner, you can see ES. ES stands for the E-mini S&P 500. We'll be looking at RTY, which is the mini Russell. YM mini down, and NQ for the mini Nasdaq. And on the future side, we're going to be looking at gold. We're going to be looking at GC, which is gold. SI for silver, CL for crude, and NG for natural gas, and BTC for those that like to trade Bitcoin. On Forex, on the currencies, we are going to be looking at the Aussie US, the Euro US, and the US Yen. For the indices and the commodities, we're going to be using a technique we call Einstein. Einstein provides a formula in combination with patterns that provide us with an exact entry point, a profit target, and or reversal if we don't hit profit. If we have to reverse, it's going to generate a new profit. Historically, we reverse about 30% of the time, somewhere between 30 to 25% of the time. And so that means 70-75% of the time we are going to hit our target before the reversal. We'll be using that, of course, on the indices and on the commodities. And then on the currencies, we're going to be using also some patterns. It's going to be, we have 5 different patterns that we use in our core package. So these are patterns that are taught in our core package. And when one gets set up, it will provide us either with a buy or a short. Those trades are held on for no more than 4 to 5 minutes. So right now I don't see anything in the indices. We're still short. The only thing we have triggered so far this morning is short crude and short natural gas. Target on natural gas, once again, if you can see the plot on the screen, is 55.45, and on the crude, 99.15. Anyway, thank you for joining us once again on those following us on YouTube and Facebook. If you like more information, you can always go to my, of course, my YouTube channel. A lot of educational material out there. Also, if you like to get a hold of us, just go to my website, binaryprostrategies.com. Also, we have brought back the trial memberships. It's $50 a month. You will have access to these charts. Also, you will be able to watch our overnight trades we put on the night before and let them expire the following day. Everything that we're doing, they all use the same pattern, so the patterns are universal in the sense that they work in any market that one wishes to trade, and they work in any time frame, which is very interesting. So, so that the idea of this morning show is just kind of give you an idea of the broad range of things that we can trade with the core and Einstein. Obviously, when you're trading, it's always better to stick to 1 or 2 markets you really like. For me, I like the mini Russell. I do like the ES. I've been trading the ES forever, or the US 500. I do like gold, and I like natural gas. And then on the currency side, I do like the US yen and the Euro US. It's kind of my go-to. But it's all preference. Everything moves a little bit differently. Everything has a little bit different personality. And the more time you sit in front of the screen and really watch the action, you'll see that they all have a little bit different personalities. Some move a little faster than others. Some tend to gyrate quite a bit once you get into it. So that's something to keep in mind, particularly the yen. Typically, if I get into a yen position and it goes red against me, it typically indicates that I'm going to end up making money on the trade. It's just one of those markets that do that. So you get a lot of movement back and forth, but you've got to stick to your pattern and let it play out. And that's the other key. If you get into these trades, give it time to play out. You're not going to instantly go green right away. And sometimes you instantly go red, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a losing trade. And I think that really messes up a lot of traders because they get so nervous as soon as they go a small green, they want to get out and take a profit. And that is definitely a losing strategy. All right, still short natural gas, short crude. All the indices are pretty quiet this morning. So we'll see. Morning, John. Morning, John. Oops. All right, so let's take a look and see. I'm going to take a real quick look here and see what we're looking at here on the overall market. We will be offering stocks shortly. That we will be doing that. We will be using the same approach to trading stocks as we do with the currencies and the commodities, the futures. And along with that is a scan that we developed to scan about 12,000 stocks, I think it is, and it looks for every single one of the patterns. And it runs a scan for us to give us some indication of which one have a stronger bias to the upside or downside. All right, just briefly glancing on it right now, we have quite a few stocks that are poised to go down today. So on several of our patterns, so overall it looks to me like it may end up being a down day on the Dow. Or I should say on the ES. We don't really trade the Dow, right? So we trade the ES or the US 500. So tends to be a stronger bias to the downside on that. Yes, once again, this scan will also be available as well as part of the service. We'll be sending out the scan every morning, or every evening actually, to prepare you for the following day. And we're going to be using one or two of the patterns that we use that work really well with the stock market. You don't need to look at all the patterns. All we need to look is just a few of them. And right now it's pointing for a down day, so we'll see how that turns out. Only thing we have on this morning is short of crude oil and short of natural gas. Don't really have anything in the indices right now. Possible buy coming up on the RTY. Possible buy coming up on NQ. NQ, once again, is going to be your mini NASDAQ. RTY is your mini Russell. All right, let's take a look at this RTY. It's triggered on buy right now on the RTY mini Russell. All right, we're looking for a target on RTY. It's going to be 1744. 1744 is our target, profit target. And if we need the reverse, we're going to reverse on that at 1729. 1729. And then for a mini NASDAQ, we have a buy. And target on that is going to bring us up to 118.57 and a half. And that reversal is going to bring us down to 117.45. 117.45. Okay, we may be getting a trigger long on the Aussie US. Let's take a look at Aussie US real quick here. Okay, that's got to be a 68. I'm seeing a 68.19 long on the Aussie US. 68.19.
Profit target hit.
Okay, so we did hit profit target on our short crude, also hit profit target on our short natural gas. All right, out of crude, out of natural gas. The mini Russell RTY is still long. NQ, which is your mini NASDAQ, is also in a buy position. Core 5-minute binaries is what we use for core. But we also use one of the patterns for our overnight trades. I have a recap of June's overnight trades coming out today, so I should be having that posted here shortly. So basically, the overnight trades are using the same patterns that we use on other time frames. It's just that the trade is put on the night before, and then we just let them go and expire the following day. So I have those results out. As soon as I stop this live broadcast, I'll go ahead and get that posted. All right, NQ still long, mini NASDAQ still long, RTY still long. Aussie US is still in a buy. Not like this. We did reverse and go. We are reversing on the Aussie US and the US and the Euro US. So as far as as far as core and the currencies, my favorite is always going to lean towards Euro US and the US yen. I don't do a lot on the Aussie US. But the key is not to trade more than, typically I wouldn't trade more than 2 of those at a time. But you got to play out the sequence in order to take advantage of the probabilities. All right, so out of the Aussie US, that was a loss on the Aussie US. Still long on RTY, still long on, let's see what else here. NASDAQ, US, or the NQ. Nothing on gold at all. Nothing. Gold's pretty quiet. Nothing on gold. Silver had a buy early this morning, and that has not had any reversals on it yet. still going up on the silver and going down on the gold. Biased overall for the market. Looking at all our stocks, getting pretty heavily biased on the downside today. So we'll see how that turns out. But right now we do have two long positions on for the mini Nasdaq and the mini Russell, which is RTY. No, those are not used with knockouts. 3 p.m. expiries, the dailies. We use the dailies. So those that are trading on the Nadex platform, question is, do we use? They have several types of options. One is knockouts. Knockouts is what we want to use when we're looking at Einstein and trading the indices and the commodities. If we're going to be trading the 5-minute currencies, we're going to be using Core and what we call Crystal Ball, which we really don't go through here. Crystal Ball is more of a scalping approach. Crystal Ball does have some of its own unique patterns, which few of those we are using also on our overnight trades. But most of what I look at is I trade a lot of CB. I do a lot of scalping on the currencies. I do some core setups and Einstein. And I'm very limited in what I trade with Einstein, only because it gets too overwhelming. You really don't want to be trading more than several at a time. It's just, particularly indices, you can't really trade 2 indices at a time. It's just too hard. Because if they get triggered at the same time, it's really hard to get. Sometimes it's pretty quick. So you can get triggered on a long position. If you get triggered on another long position, on say RTY, and just like, we're long RTY and we're long NQ, if they all happen at the same time, sometimes it's hard to get all those orders in. So particularly indices, just stick with one. You don't need more than one. Pick your favorite. Mine is going to be RTY and ES. I do like NQ. NQ is really good. My least favorite is probably going to be the mini Dow, but they're all good. It just depends on the kind of action you want. All right. US Tech, or the mini Nasdaq and mini Russell, slowly working their way to target. Yes, absolutely, Glenn. That's one reason why the markets are quiet this morning, is because of that Fed report coming out. And that is going to be, it's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern. So, yeah, that's absolutely one reason why we could be kind of choppy in here this morning. So, you got to be really careful. All right, Dow's going to open here in less than 4 minutes. Wouldn't be surprised now to see a slightly higher opening, so we'll see how that works out. But we're getting a lot of indication of this market being down today, so we'll see how that works out. Take a trip to Europe. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we are getting a short now again on the Aussie US. Short on the Aussie US. That's going to be 68.15 is that short on that Aussie US. Getting in a little late on that. 68.15. All right, Dow's going to open it here in less than a minute. Still coming in long on the mini Russell and the mini Nasdaq. Aussie US still short. All right, Dow is up 16. Pretty quiet opening. See that'll push our R2Y and NQ up the target. Out of the Aussie US, that short, that was a winner. All right, still looking for a target on this mini Russell to be 1744. Target on mini Nasdaq 118.57.5. Now starting to climb up 54.
Profit target hit.
All right, profit target was hit on the mini Russell.
Profit target hit.
All right, we hit target on the mini NASDAQ. We have just a regular pairing pattern buy on the crude oil. Buy on the crude oil. Target on crude oil is going to bring up to a 99.15 target, profit target, 99.15. And reversal on crude is going to bring you down to 97.65. All right, Dow's now up 86. Okay, the only thing on right now is this crude oil. Looking for a target of 99.15 on crude. Getting a buy on the yen, the U.S. yen. Getting a buy on the U.S. yen. $135.09, a 135.09 buy on the U.S. yen. Once again, when you're trying to, if you find out that you miss a trade or you're coming in late on a trade, don't just jump into the market. You want to make sure if you're trading these options, you want to make sure that you're getting good premium. So if you don't get the premium, then don't take the trade. The best I've seen so far in this 09, of course I wasn't watching the beginning, but you're in the 70s right now, middle 70s. 135.09, it's now in the 60s. Kind of set up for a double buy over here on the US yen. Getting a short on the mini NASDAQ. Getting a short on mini NASDAQ. Let's get a target on the mini NASDAQ. Target's going to bring you down to 117.45. 117.45. It's going to be our profit target, 117.45. If I need to reverse, I'm going to reverse 118.57.5. Okay, yen, the only thing I have on right now is that 135.09 long on the yen, US yen, and just got triggered short on a NQ mini NASDAQ. Crude is still in a buy, trying to hit a 99.15 target on crude. Yeah, I think this Dow's going to be gyrating quite a bit this morning until this FOMC report comes out here at 2 p.m. Eastern. But just getting a really strong bias to the downside today on all the stocks. Quite a few stocks we show going lower today based on our pattern study. All right. So we're just sitting here waiting for, like to see this chart, the crude go up and see this mini NASDAQ go down. And we are out of that US yen trade, so that was a nice little win. A lot of times on these indices when we're trading Einstein, I'd like to add to these pullbacks because it lowers my risk, but increases my profit potential. So I like to add when we get these pullbacks in here. Okay, I'm not seeing anything on the seeing nothing on the currencies right now. Okay, so it looks like RTY just triggered a short. RTY triggered a short. Once again, be careful on this morning because so I think it's going to be a little choppy in here. So just always keep that in mind. If that's the case, you can stay short biased if you like to do that. You can stay only take buys if you like to do that. So let's take a look on this RTY. RTY. Gonna have a pretty tight stop here. It's gonna be 1749 is gonna be the reversal. I want to get that in first. It's gonna be a reversal on this short position. Target on RTY though is going to bring you down to 1734. 1734. See, Dow's just really quiet this morning. Nobody's really wants to commit. They're going to wait on this report. We have some really good strategies on how to trade these reports. This FOMC report that worked very, very well. And it's going to be more of a scalping strategy that we teach in CB. But we love those kind of reports. Puts a lot of volatility in the market. We love volatility. Just not seeing anything in the currencies right now. I don't like the action. Market's going sideways right now. Typically on these currency pairs, what you're going to notice is that, they trend, and obviously, just like anything else, they trend, then they go sideways, and activity picks up, and you have a lot of movement, and then it slows down. But what you're going to find, though, is that let's say you've had a lot of really good movement, you have a pretty nice little trend to the upside, and let's say that the Aussie US starts to go sideways. It's like a domino effect. It's going to pull down your euro, it's going to pull down your US yen, and they're also going to go sideways. So little things like that are important when you're trading, is understand that relationship. That they are all kind of interrelated, and they do affect each other. So that's a real important thing to keep in mind when you're trading the currencies. Okay, still short US tech. Now finally starting to move towards target. RTY is getting closer to target. Love that. RTY gave me a great entry. Dow's finally down on the day, down 14. Yeah, you're right about that, Glenn. The market does know things don't look good. Now they're waiting for the FOMC to confirm what everybody already knows, right? Yeah, I mean I think it's all pretty much factored in, but I mean, I personally think the Dow's going to go much lower. It got heavily scanned. When we look at these patterns, we have a program. He takes these patterns and goes over. I think he told me 12,000 different stocks, and we got all of the patterns, or quite a few of them are shown to be down. So usually when that happens, if you're an individual stock trader, you can trade the individual stocks, or if you like trade the indices. To me, it's an indication that the ES is probably going to end up being down for the day. So statistically, we're looking at, on those scans overall on the stocks, I think we're 68, 69% in terms of accurate prediction. So that's anything over 50 is good. And that's pretty much the case across the board. So certainly gives you a really strong bias where the market wants to go. Now, obviously, you can have the unexpected, right? Always remember that a percentage of the market, there's a portion of the market you can't predict, right? It's noise, totally unpredictable. So, but without any unusual information coming in, then usually the predictions are going to be hit right on. Because people tend to repeat the same actions over and over and over again. If you know how to read it right. And that's the key, is how do you read it? Indicators aren't going to help you. Candlesticks, those patterns aren't going to help you. Not consistently across the board. Everything works once or twice, right? But, there's more to trading than just looking at some indicator. I call them tools, right? You certainly want good tools. You don't want to go build a nice house with a tool that was built in the 60s, right? That's the way it is with these indicators. I think a lot of people are trying to trade with these outdated indicators, and they end up never making any money. All right, so yeah, RTY, nice, love it. RTY just hit target. So the mini Russell hit target. Now we're just waiting to see if the mini Nasdaq will hit target. Crude's still in a long position. Nothing on the currencies are going sideways. Ken, let's see. Ken, are you on our mailing list? Do we have your email? I'll make sure you get up there. We're going to send out those dailies today, and I want to make sure you get notified. Or even if you're with you on YouTube and you subscribe, then you hit that notification bell, you'll be notified as soon as that video comes out. It's been a good morning. I can't complain. No reversals this morning, which honestly surprises me. I would have thought we would have had more reversals on the indices this morning because of that report coming out this afternoon. But that's the thing. You can't. It's okay to have a bias, but don't let that bias override what you're seeing in the market, right? So it doesn't hurt to come in with that kind of bias, but if you got some really strong setups, take them, because if something doesn't, I always say, if something doesn't look good to you, it doesn't look good to the majority of people, and since the majority of people lose money, you gotta kind of change the way you look at the markets, right? And I go into a lot more in my in that free webinar that I put out, and it is still available. I think you can watch it now on YouTube. I have to see if they put that up on YouTube yet. But yeah, you definitely don't want to be following the crowd. That's the last thing you want to do. There was a guy, and I don't know what happened to him. This was way back in the 80s, and this guy was he had a really good strategy. What he'd do, he'd watch the Wall Street Journal every morning, and he would watch any kind of reports that came out, like grain reports or weather reports. Maybe you're trading orange juice, right, or you're trading grains. And if it was a positive report, he would sell it, and if it was a negative report that morning, he would look to buy the grains or whatever the case may be. So he was always fading the news, which was actually a really brilliant strategy. And the thing worked. I mean, it really worked well. I know he did very well with that. I can't remember his name. I wish I could remember his name. I don't even know if he offers a service anymore like that. But that was when people really watching the Wall Street Journal. Now with the internet and everything, it's totally different. It's a different game right now, right? I mean, you can still listen to the news, but Wall Street Journal back then just had a lot of influence as far as playing the opposite direction, right? Okay,
Reverse sell.
so we are getting a short right now on YM Mini Dow. Mini Dow is getting a short. And crude oil had a reversal. Crude oil reversed and went short. So let's take a look at the Wall Street 30, which is your mini Dow. Target on that, it's going to bring it down to 308.63. 308.63. And reversal was going to be 310.13. 310.13. Well, my alerts are actually plotting today. I have some trouble with. I use Thinkorswim as my for my charts. They trigger what I do on Nasdaq. I'm sorry, what I do on Nadex. I don't use Nadex charts. I get that question a lot. No, I don't use Nadex charts. Everything that I do is trading. I'm watching spot because that's what's going to influence whatever I see on Nadex. And what else? I said crude went short. Yeah, so crude reversed and went short. So that's the first reversal on crude. So short still, mini Dow still short, mini Nasdaq looking for that to hit target. Down 36. Let's take a look at crude and see where that target's going to be. Okay, it's going to be 97.15 target. 97.15 target on crude. Reversal on crude is going to be 98.65. Also, once again, if you kind of want to try things out before you buy, maybe you're skeptical for for whatever reason. I get it. A lot of junk out there. Try the trial room. It's very reasonable. $50 a month. You have a full month watching these setups plotted on the charts. Share my charts. Pretty much all morning, early afternoon, and also in the evening. And you're also going to get the daily setups. Well worth it, if nothing more, just for the daily setups. I personally trade several of the patterns on the daily setups. And I've done extremely, extremely well. I have family members that do it. I have friends that do it. And the dailies are good for those that don't have a lot of time to watch the screens, right? Don't have time to sit in front of the screen. Maybe not ready to become a full-time trader yet. I get that. A lot of people are working. It's hard, right, when you're working. But if you want to do this as a career and you're working, you got to make sacrifices. You got to put in the time. Do your research on the weekends. Do your research, when you have time. Look at the charts. Watch the action. A lot of these platforms now have replays on them, so you can go ahead and replay the action as if you're trading it live. So yeah, put the time into it if you want to become a full-time trader. You got to know how to play the short-term action. All right, that's it. 9 o'clock. I'm sorry. Yep, it is 9 my time, 10 Eastern. That's going to wrap it up for the live broadcast today. Thanks again, those on YouTube and Facebook, for joining us. Once again, any questions? You always go to my YouTube channel. Plenty of educational material out there for the strategies that I use in trade. Also, please go to my website. I think there's a link to the free webinar. It goes more into the core strategy. That's it. Have a great day. Be careful. We have that big meeting. They have that FOMC report coming out here around 2 Eastern. So that's certainly going to bring a lot of volatility into the market. All right? Y'all take care. We'll see you tomorrow.